Good morning everyone and welcome back. I've got the tractor behind me, as you can see. Brought some straw over because I'm at the calving cows. Gonna move them, get any calves out, and I'm gonna feed out for this morning, and I'm also gonna feed out for this afternoon too. We're gonna move them twice today. Well, Dad's picked up one calf and I think there was one more somewhere else too, so that there's at least two. There's 65 cows in here, so we're getting through them. Might be 64 now. We're over 3/4 of the way through. It's nice. It's nice. The mob's getting smaller and smaller. A lot of people ask what that white powder is. It is causmag, or magnesium oxide. Cows need it because they can get deficient in it, and if they are deficient they can go down with milk fever. So we don't want that, because then it gets tricky. You've got to give them a bag, and sometimes you've got to help them up too. So if we can prevent that, it makes life so much easier. That's the four of them. Look, number 26, and one of them's that one there, number 27. Except we did take a few too many out. This one's got to go back. Come on. It's actually the 19th of the 8th today. And one night 8 calf last night. I actually came over and had a look. But these are fine for now, but what we're planning to do, because there is a massive sort of storm, I don't know if you call it a storm, but there's heaps of rain coming tonight. It's supposed to start from about sort of 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon and then go through till pretty much mid-morning tomorrow morning. It looks like we're going to get 50, round about that 50 mils. I'm not sure, it might be plus or minus. But I've set up a break, or I've fed out for them this afternoon. Even if it's not too wet, we'll move them up this way and just try and keep them full so that they don't walk around quite so much and make much of a mess. But it's good to get 4 more out of there. It just means there's 4 more less in the dry mob. I'm on the Met Service website, and you can sort of see the outline of map in New Zealand. So we are currently just in here, and this is the weather forecast for the next couple of days. Go back to the start. You can sort of see it starting to come in. The darker the colour, like the more red it is, the more heavy the rain is going to be. So it's sort of starting to start about then. That's midnight tonight, and then boom, it sort of hits us. Like I said, we are in there, so that looks pretty bad, although hopefully it's sort of coming in from the west, and Prongia is a big mountain to the west of us. Hopefully that sort of takes a brunt of it, or takes some of it. And then that's 6 AM, so there might be a few downpours during the night, and that is 9 AM, so it sort of looks like most of it's gone through by then, and then it opens up. There's a little bit behind it, and then it clears, which will be nice. But I definitely feel sorry for anyone up in Northland watching. Look at that, that's terrible. You guys had your fair share of rainfall, that's for sure. You've had more than us. One good thing though is once we get this rain in here, it's looking pretty good for the long range forecast. It's all sun, 16 degrees during the day, and then still the overnight temperatures are pretty low, getting down to about 2 degrees. We really need those to pick up, and then we'll start growing pretty good grass. It actually looks like it might be scaling it back a little bit. When I first had a look this morning and yesterday, the rainfall totals were a lot more than they are now, which is awesome. That's what we want to see. We might not be getting that 50 mils, but even if we did get 20 or 30, that's still a lot at the moment with just how everything is so saturated. It'd be nice if we didn't even get that though. It's just really cold today though, which hopefully the temperature rises over the next couple of days. I've put the girls on the pad. They are happy, they're digging into their afternoon tea. I've actually overfed them too, so I've actually sort of doubled their ration what they were getting on here, and the theory behind that was that they're going to leave quite a bit behind when they go to their paddock, and when I had finished milking them in the morning, I was going to get them down here and they can just stand on here for a couple of hours until sort of the worst of it's blown through and finish off whatever's here, and then they can go to their grass paddock. This is where I had planned on the cows coming tomorrow morning. It is a pretty low-lying paddock though, and there's a lot of water still lying around, like in these hollows just through here. You can see there's a bit there, and it's also very yellow looking. I did get a little bit of nitrogen on here the other day. It's just been so wet, like this grass has really struggled to grow big time. It's definitely one of the poorer performing paddocks I have, so if I put them in here in the morning and they do make a little bit of a mess, I wasn't going to be too worried, because I'd rather stuff this up than a good paddock. And with things how they are at the moment, we've just received another drop in our milk price. So last week we went from $8, our midpoint, down to $7, which made things pretty tough. And then this week, or when you're watching this, it'll be last week, we got dropped again from $7 down to $6.75, which makes things very, very tough. A lot of people's break-even points are over $7, around that sort of $7.23 I think they put out the other day, or $7.50. So a lot of people aren't going to be making money this season, and I don't really have the funds to go and buy grass seed and regrass paddock, so that was the whole point of sort of doing things like this. But hopefully this is the last big rain event we get for a little while, and a bit of fine weather will certainly do the world of good. Dad's just shifted those cows over there onto their new break. I couldn't actually see any calves over there, although there was a cow calving, so I've got them to draft it out and just put it in the race for the night, or in the grass race in the same paddock. They're actually good paddocks for calving on, because you can see through the binos up at the shed here, which is pretty awesome. You can just have a quick look across and see if there's any new ones. Well, you definitely can't see it very well today because it's got a bit of a hat on, but that is prong air straight through there, so that is pretty much straight west. And normally there's a mountain there. It's actually the tallest mountain in the Waikato. I'm not sure if it's raining up there, it's just misty. But if you're watching from down south, you'd probably call it a hill. But occasionally, and I mean very occasionally, we do get the odd bit of snow up the top there. And I mean, it's like once every maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe it's longer. The last time there's snow up there would have been probably 5 years ago. Nah, definitely wasn't mist, it was drizzle. But there's also a pretty good footy club down there too, so if there's any kids watching around TA, tell mum and dad you want to go and play down there. Girls are happy now, they're in the party paddock, nice and close to the shed for the morning, and that's what they've left behind in the bin, so that'll keep them pretty busy in the morning. For a big front to be moving in like this, it's amazing how still it is. There's hardly a breath of wind. But that's it for me, so I'll see you in the morning. Well, I saved money on petrol this morning. I had to beat the feet to go and get my cows in, which I'm currently doing at the moment. It's a little bit greasy out there, so I didn't want to ride in the paddock. But there is 2 bits of good news. The first bit is I checked the rain gauge before, and it's only up to about 15 millimeters, which is awesome. That is so good. I was lying in bed and I woke up during the night. I could just hear it raining on the roof, and there's nothing worse, especially when your alarm clock goes to it's raining. But it was never really a hard rain. It's sort of always been a soft one, and there's just still no wind. It's pretty crazy. But the other good thing too is that it is seriously warm at the moment. It's like 16 degrees. Or Dad, no, what did he say it was when he left the house? 13, which is good. Like, that is really, really good. We should get some grass growth with that. But the bad thing is that I probably should have put that urea on that's sitting in the shed, but hindsight, you never know. What did you say the temperature was when you got up this morning? 13. Oh, so it was 13 degrees. I was right, yeah. Which is pretty warm for at the moment. It's almost too hot just wearing my sleeves that I'm milking. It's kind of spitting out there, but sort of half-heartedly. Milking's almost finished. Dad's back. He went and fed a bale to his cows, so he's back to help me now. There's just a couple in the yard down there to milk, and then it's done. This is what I mean about holding the cows back though. So all these cows through here have been milked, and I've also got a couple of rows just waiting in that pen there, but they can all go. The gates are all set, and by the time they get there, like the ones that we're going to milk now should almost, well, won't be far behind them, and they'll all get a feed on the pad. The weather hasn't changed much, so it's sort of like this light drizzle. Oh, I guess it's a little bit heavier now, so maybe we will get, I don't know, maybe we will get sort of 25-30 mils all up. I mean, it is supposed to rain through till lunchtime, so there's quite a possibility that we might get a heavy shower at some stage. There's the last ones there. They're off. It doesn't appear that there's any new calves apart from that cow that Dad drafted out yesterday afternoon. They're all pretty happy, they're just standing there. Didn't eat a heap of that straw though, looks like they've wasted quite a bit. That's alright, at least they're happy. I've been feeding calves and I never shut the gate at the bottom to sort of lock them on here. And the girls are deciding that they want to go back up to the cow shed because that's where their grass paddock is. Pretty much because they've finished all their feed in here. Because we haven't had as much rain as I thought we were going, so I've opened the gate down the bottom there and they can just find their way out. The old saying might be right though, rain by 7, fine by 11. Dad always says it. But it kind of feels like it might be clearing up a little bit. It's only sort of lightly drizzling, although it's been like this for all morning really, but nice if it did. Well, maybe that's just wishful thinking. Just move these girls, just try and get it done as quick as. It'd make a little bit of a mess, but in the grand scheme of things it's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. Probably shift them again this afternoon too, give them another break. But they're happy. Oh, they're very full, very full. Look at that. Obviously my eyes aren't very good. There's 3 calves. That's the one that we drafted out yesterday. This is one of the mums. She's just had hers. A heifer. Can't be too many heifers left to calve. And there's another one. Oh, behind you. That's actually another good day, 3. And for yesterday, 7 in 2 days. That's pretty good going. If we could keep gradually getting calves like that every day, we'd certainly fly through it. Must be down to 55ish in there maybe. Colostrums are all milk. That cow at the front there, she's got mastitis, so we just keep her in with them. Some nice colostrum for those new calves, that'll warm them up. Well, that's better than 30, but it's honestly probably about 20 mils too much at the moment. And it could have been worse, it could have been a lot worse, but a lot of these paddocks down the bottom here have started to flood even after just that small amount of rain. There's a lot of puddles down there, everything's sort of just going to stay yellow. At least there's a bit of fine weather on the way though. But that will pretty much wrap it up for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go and grab myself a coffee and I'll catch you next time.